everybody, this is Boogess Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Ultimate Riders Professor X figure. So before we take a look at Professor X, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with, before we also take a look at his Hoverchair. So first up, he comes with an alternate head sculpt for the Kingpin Build-A-Figure, and this is the Shadow King head. And this looks really, really good. Like, it has some paint detail to it in the, it's actually painted on. It's not like a wash, it's actually painted on for that expression there. He's got those really sharp teeth. It just looks really good. And he has the tiny glasses. And they don't really want to stay on his face on mine. As you can see, it keeps wanting to do that or slip over his ear. But the little thing right here on his fez keeps the glasses on. So even if it does slip, it won't fall off. You'll just have to put it back on. Now, I don't have the Kingpin Build-A-Figure yet, but I'm going to try putting this on the Toy Biz Kingpin, which is probably what I'll leave it on because I don't want to keep switching the heads back and forth between the Build-A-Figure and this. So I can actually have two separate figures. So I went ahead and popped this off. You'll have to boil this in some hot water to do that. And it looks like the peg is a little small. But it looks like it'll settle in there. It'll be a little loose and wobbly, but for the most part it'll settle in there. So if you do that with the Toy Biz Kingpin figure, you can do that. What I'll probably do is take and put a little piece of a cotton ball in the peg hole there to make it a little tighter, and then put it on there. That way it'll be a lot tighter and not as loose. But you can do that, so that's pretty cool. So up next is Cerebro. I think Cerebro looks really good. It comes with this psychic effect piece right here, and it's done in kind of like a bluish white plastic. And I am not a fan of this effect. I just don't like it. But luckily, it is removable, so you can't do that. Now, this is like a gunmetal mixed with like a blue. I like the color. It looks really good. So let's go ahead and put this on him like that. And it fits on him very snug. You can do that, and it won't even move. As you can see, there's a groove inside Cerebro on each side where his ears slide into. So that also helps with it not moving anywhere. So if you wanted to do that, you could. There he is with Cerebro on. So now, before we take a look at the Hoverchair, we'll take a look at Professor X. Now, the body is exactly the same as all the other suited bodies I've reviewed. I've reviewed so many, so, you know, if you want to, you can watch the Tony Stark review, the Nick Fury review. I'm going to be doing a review on the Ross and Killmonger pack. That also uses this. So, all of them use that suited body mold. But taking a look at the head sculpt, this is a really good head sculpt. He has super pointy eyebrows, but that's comic accurate, you know? And his eyes came out pretty clean. At first, I thought they were gold. With the light on there, they kind of look gold, but they're actually brown. But yeah, this head sculpt looks really good. And he uses that standard suited body mold, but this time it's done in a dark green, and his tie is blue and black. The tie is very soft and pliable. I wish this is the kind of material they would have used for Ronan's jacket, because this is very soft. Actually, this is so soft if you move it the wrong way it might rip, so actually maybe it didn't need to be that soft. I'm pretty sure this is a new hand, because I don't remember seeing this hand anywhere before. But this has been used with Thor. Who else? I know this has been used a lot of times before. But since this is the suited body mold, if you wanted to switch them out, you could. I should have brought an extra pair of hands to show. But they'll pop out like that. You can change them with Namor, Iron Fist. He came with bunches of hands. The All-Father Wave Iron Fist. There's just plenty of figures with alternate hands that you could use this on. So now let's go ahead and put him in the Hoverchair. So you want to get him in a sitting... Oh, I forgot to go over the articulation. I mean, it's standard. You probably already know the articulation. But let's go over the articulation anyway. He has a ball jointed head that can look back all the way, can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. As you can see, this is kind of gappy, his jacket right here. So it would have been nice if they would have painted just a little bit of green right there. That way, if it moves, you wouldn't see white. He has ball jointed shoulders that can move out that far. He has swiveled the bicep, double jointed elbow, swiveled the wrist that can move side to side and up and down, an ab crunch that can move back just a little bit, and can crunch forward all the way. He has swiveled the waist, ball jointed hips that can move out that far. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way, kind of all the way. He can move back more than most figures. He has swiveled the thigh, double jointed knees, swiveled the ankle that can move all the way down, and not up very far, and he has an ankle rocker. But honestly, you probably really won't be using much of his articulation since you're going to put him in in his chair, his hover chair. Let's go ahead and put him in like that. There. So now he is in the hover chair. Now the hover chair also has a blanket you can put over his lap, and it's just done in that maroon color. And as you can see, it has a little bit of texturing to it. Now I wish it would have been a lot bigger because you kind of just wedge it between him and the chair. That's really the only way it stays on. And as you can see, it just goes to right there. So if you scoot it back, so if you scoot it back like that, you will see his knees. So I would tend to keep it a little lower like that. So for the hover chair, it includes this whooshing air effect, is what I'm calling it. It's done with translucent plastic and white, and it looks really good. You can just take this and pour it into the bottom of the hover chair right there. And it also looks like it might have a little bit of gray in it too. But yeah, that looks really nice. And you can unpeg it like that. I really thought it was one of the things that once you peg it in, you wouldn't be able to take it out. But nope, you can remove it, so that's pretty cool. So taking a look at the hover chair, this is in like 4 or 5 pieces when you get it. As you can see, the seam right here is where it splits in half. The pad that he's sitting on, and the back of the chair right here, it was a separate piece. All of it was a separate piece. So you do have to put it together, but I went ahead and did that already. And I do think the line right here looks a little ugly. I mean, I can look past it, but I wish that maybe... I think they could have separated it into more pieces. That way you wouldn't have the line down the middle right there. That way this could have been one piece, you know. I feel like they could have done it just a little bit better, but overall it's not horrible. But it's done in that yellowish gold plastic, and it has the marbleization to it. And it has a little bit of paint detail. It has a little paint detail right there on the side. And it has some good sculpting. I forgot to mention that the pad that he sits on has some sculpt detail. And the pad in the back of the chair has a little bit of texturing to it. And let me take Professor X out right there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's an X shape in it. And I don't know if that was intentional or not. I'm leaning towards it wasn't intentional, but as you can see, the X goes like that. So I don't know if that was intentional or not. So let's go ahead and just put him back in here. He also has these panels on the arm that slide out. Has a button right there in red. And I'm not sure what these are for. Well, I mean, it's probably for contacting the X-Men stuff. There's also this one. Looks like a built-in iPad to his hover chair. And has some buttons there. It just has the blue painted on. Well, I mean, of course the gunmetal too. But other than that, there's not much else on it. So you can get him. Let's get him sitting right here. So there he is, sitting in the hover chair. And I have wanted this figure for so long. When Hasbro announced this, I was super excited because, you know, the fans have been asking for it for a long time. Because the previous Professor X figure, which I had at one point but broke, then I tried to customize it and broke it even worse. But anyway, the previous version was horrible. Like, to me, the articulation, like the joints were really ugly, and the head was really tiny. But this this looks really good. This is what the fans have wanted. My only real complaint with this is the blanket. I wish it would have been a little bit bigger, and you could have tucked it in beside his thighs right there, his hips. His hips, I should say. I wish it would have came back a little farther and went down a little bit farther. That way, if you scoot it up, you didn't see his knees. So now let's do some size comparisons. So here he is next to the Professor X I was using for my comic Professor X. This is the movie Professor X. This is the variant. The regular version is in a black and white suit with a silver tie. And this one, to me, looked more like the comics. Or more comic-like, I should say. So there he is next to that one. And then here he is next to the movie one. I'm just curious. Let's take Professor X out here. Yes, I knew that would shoot out. I wonder what he looks like in this chair. Of course, you have the pegs right there, but let's see if you can get him to set. He looks like he might be a tad bit too big for him. Oh, I guess he isn't. So I guess if you wanted to do that, you could. But yeah, you can use that. And that doesn't look bad. I thought he'd be huge, but nope, he fits on it perfectly. So if you wanted to do that, you could. Now let's get a setting back in here. And let's get the blanket back on him. There. So now for two more size comparisons. Here he is next to the 90s Cyclops. And now we just need, well, Nightcrawler's coming. We just need Colossus, Jean Grey, and Storm. Because, like I said, we have Nightcrawler coming. So yeah, we just need those three characters. And finally, here he is next to the Shadow King, whose head just fell off when I grabbed him. So there's that. So, overall, I'd highly recommend this figure. It is just really good. And, honestly, this is my favorite Marvel Legends Riders figure so far. Deadpool is a close second, but nothing beats this one. I think mainly because I've just wanted it for so long. And Hasbro gave it to us, and they really delivered. This is a really good figure. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.